It was a night of glory for Lewandowski as he actually becomes the first man right now scoring the fastest treble in the UEFA Champions League, breaking the record of Marco Simone in 1996. Good one. Welcoming you on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Lots of action in the UEFA Champions League between Bayern and Salzburg, and not forgetting Liverpool versus Inter Milan. We'll be looking at all these particular stories as we move around the world of sport. Joining me is Muideen Jimo. Good to have you, Muideen.
Pleasure always to be on the show.
Good one. Now, let's start from the home scene. We just have to look at our stories first. If we don't, no one else will take those stories from Europe. Let's start with Usman stories, where Youth Sport Federation of Nigeria, for a long time now, we've seen so many state executives, they are not performing for the past 5 years. That's why the national body are saying their hammer will fall. The hammer will fall on non-performing state executive coming from the president, that is Deputy Governor of Kano State, who also doubled as the national president of Youth Fund, that for those states who are yet to perform for a good 5 years, they will make sure they dissolve such state executive and at least allow them to be part. Because if you look at the last Youth Fund competition in Kano, only 21 teams, yes, the Rampage Cup, 21 states came out of 36. That means they've been watching for the past 5 years those states that have not been performing.
Yeah, I think it's long overdue. I don't even think it's just in the last 5 years. We know how Youth Fund used to be in the 80s and the 90s. They've produced great footballers for us. And I think in the last decade, we've not really had much from Youth Fund, except, just like I said, it just concluded Rama Cup, 1 competition here, 2 competition here for the whole year. You know, you can't really get to the grassroots that way. Normally, for every quarter, for every geopolitical zone, there should be competitions, that will be, massive coverage. The media too needs to do a whole lot, and that's the way we can really get our sports, most especially football, running the way it should run. We complain about the NPFL. These are places where we can get young, dynamic talent, to showcase their talent there. So I think it's a good one from the president, but it should not just be about backing and not biting. They should be able to back and bite. All those states that are not performing, they should send that back in, get vibrant young people that can really think outside the box. Because I know the complaint, I've spoken with some of these executives, the complaint most times is like they don't have funds, what have you. No, you don't have to wait for fund to come. You go out, meet the private sector. You remember, God bless his soul, late MK Abdallah, he used to be a heavy financier of Youth Fund,
yes,
before, in the 80s. So these are what this state executive needs to do. Go all out there, partner with the private sector,
meet all these very rich individuals, talk to them about these talents.
Yes, then let this competition roll and let our young guys get a platform to showcase themselves. So I think it's a step in the right direction, but they need to do much more than this.
And you look at the fact that Youth Fund, even in the local governments, they are more closer to all these talents. They know who and who, this particular lad is very good in football, is very good in athletics. Now, why don't you, okay, if we cannot go for the national body, why don't we do it in our states?
Yeah.
We can organize competition in our own state and say, okay, Youth Fund, Nasarawa State, Youth Fund, Kogi State, Youth Fund, River State, we are doing this. Although some states actually, they actually do that, but not all the states. Most of these have been very redundant for almost 5 years now. And that's why I love the fact that the president is looking at, okay, we have to take the big hammer now and ask all these states, executives that are not performing, because these talents are wasting away.
Definitely. You talked about state. In fact, I'll take it down to the grassroots. The local government, local government, whoever is the local government chairman in each state, just, if you want to name it after him, if he's going to sponsor it, name it after him, start from that place, because that's the microsome of the state. Start from the local government, start from there, and then expand it to the state, expand it to the zonal, then before going national. So, it has to be stage by stage. And if we go from deep down there, definitely we'll have a whole lot of talents that we can showcase. So I think we really need to put our thinking caps on, and they need to partner the right people to make sure, this comes to fruition. I think if we do that, at least we'll be going a step in the right direction.
Hopefully we can go in the right direction. Talking about Youth Fund, Youth Sport Federation of Nigeria, where the national president, Dr. Nasiru on said, okay, they will be asking non-performing state executives who have not been doing anything concerning getting more talents for their state and also for the national body, because if you do organize competition, there is no way for you to get those talented youngsters out there to be at least into the light, to bring them to the limelight. Now we move away from youth fun story. Let's talk about a Nigerian lady. She is a legend, and all right now she is a very talented table tennis player. She has done well for Nigeria. Olufunke Osunaike, well, she did well over there at the World Table Tennis Global taking place in Singapore. She was able to defeat Pierlin Low, the home girl. She defeated her 3-0 there in the straight set. Good one for Osunaike. After as you are thinking maybe she's out, she's still telling you she's there. Funke Osunaike should be like 46 or 47 years old, and she's still doing so well in table tennis, despite what happened to her recently, an accident, but still, she's still able to gather herself, and she went for this tournament in first qualifying series now. She has won against Pierlin Low, and for you to win against a home girl, a Singaporean, you know the support that she was getting from all the crowd, but yet Funke Osunaike did her best to win.
Yeah, good one for Funke. If you know, I talked to her just before they went for the Olympics, and she was, very happy about making the record of the number of Olympics, at her age, and she's still doing well. It's good one for her on a personal level, but if you look at it, we just talked about grassroots development. That shows a lot about our young talents also. Let's face it, the younger ones coming up, who can really face Funke even at her age now, that shows a lot about developmental strides in table tennis at that level, because right now, as far as I'm concerned, Funke should have left the stage. But when you don't have younger ones that can really do better than her, she still have to be one of our very best. So just like we talked about football, even for table tennis, we need younger ones coming up. And how do we get them? Through talent on like this and exposure. For this competition, if I'm not mistaken, I checked the records. We don't have so many people also joining us as in the female category. So for this category, we should have young ones also joining us. Mentorship should be more mentorship on our part now for the younger ones, because definitely very soon she's going to leave the stage. So these younger ones can also, be the star that they should. Adam is doing well. There are a couple of them doing well, but we need much more. And I think another thing I should talk about is about the pay issue with this.
Yes, that's a good one, because this is the first time that they will pay both male and female same.
And interestingly, we just celebrated the Women's Day yesterday, so it's a good one.
It's a compensation or what?
Yeah, it's a good one for our women, because it's more difficult for the women to even get through in sport than even the male. So they put in a lot. When you get married, you got to get back, take care of the family and all that. So it's very good. I like the fact that at least we're beginning to see, equal pay for them. It will take time for it to go around, but at least it's a step in the right direction.
And you look at the, just like you mentioned, equal pay in the table tennis. American right now, they've agreed that they'll be paying their ladies and their football, they'll be paying them the same amount of money. Maybe little by little, this will become a wave that will go around sport from the way it is.
Yeah, definitely. But we need to face the reality, the sponsors, these big sponsors, how big, let's talk football now. Male football is big, way bigger than the female football. So when you have the sponsors, when the Super Eagles, for example, are paying, you have a whole lot of sponsors trying to throw money and all that. When it's the female, because it's not as big, it drops a little bit. So, but I know gradually we'll bridge that gap, because it's what you bring. Because if you look at the female team, the Super Falcons, they are way more successful
than the men and the Super Eagles.
9-10 titles, and the Super Eagles just managed 3. So in terms of success, the female are even more successful. But in terms of getting, the desired, because if you want to play Super Eagles at the Abdallah National Stadium now and the Falcons, you can be assured that you will have more crowd with Super Eagles playing.
Of course.
You understand? But gradually we'll get there. So I think it's a step in the right direction.
Hopefully Nigerian football will also get the Nigerian sport. It's getting closer. The gap is being bridged now by the World Sports Administrators. We've been talking concerning Funke Osunaike for our progress over there at the World Table Tennis Global taking place in Singapore. Now let's leave Funke Osunaike and come back to Nigeria. We talk about a man, Abdallah Usman, who has done well for himself in the world of being a coach, but right now he has joined Katsina United, a former gaffer with Wiki Tourist of Bauchi. Abdallah now has been announced as the new coach of Katsina United. Hopefully he can turn things around here in Katsina.
Yeah, definitely. Very experienced tactician. He's been at Enyimba also. I think when he was at Enyimba, he took them as far as the semi-finals of the CAF Confederation Cup, and shortly after that, he left. It's a good appointment, no doubt. But for me, we all know that we don't have structures in the Nigerian local football scene. In the league, there's no structure there. So it's not just appointing a good coach, is giving him all the support that he needs. You understand? If you give him all the support and let him stay for a while, then it will translate to better play and all that. Last season, we watched some matches, and you could see from the goals that were scored, you could see the build-up. You could see how the goals were taken. You could see that this was done on the training ground. So you can only do that when you have a coach that's been given time, that's been given all the support he needs. So the Katsina State government, what they need to do now, give him all the support that he needs so that he can transform that team. And if we do that, not just for Katsina United, every other club in the NPFL, it will rub up positively on our league, and our league can be on a better pedestal.
Okay, hopefully, well, Abdallah can turn things around in Katsina. It's been a time where most clubs are beginning to look for coaches. News reaching us also is that coach of Wiki Torres is also being right now.
Yeah.
The news is coming around that Aqua United or Shooting Stars are beginning to look for Kabir Dogu and all that. Where we wait to see what's going to happen.
That's
a lot of stories.
NPFL.
Good one. NPFL. Yes, you'll be looking at the NPFL where Abdallah is now the coach of Katsina United. Good one there. Now, let's talk about the big one. Earlier on, I said the man of the moment, Lewandowski, right now has broken the record of the UEFA Champions League as the fastest hat-trick, or a treble if you want to call it that way, as he was able to at least break the record in 23 minutes, record set by Marco Simone in 1996 between AC Milan and Rosenborg, where that was in 24 minutes. But this man has really done well for himself, talking about Lewandowski. Now, UEFA Champions League went down in different center, where Bayern Munich was a walloping of RB Salzburg of Austria. Well, that was a good one for them. The man scored 3, a hat-trick, and you have Thomas Muller, not forgetting Gnabry, also joining in that celebration. Liverpool, despite they were able to scale through, they won the first leg 2-0. That's why it's always good to make haze while the sun shines, and that has actually helped them. Now, no one saw that coming, that Inter Milan would defeat them at Anfield, despite being 10 men over there in the field.
It was a shocking result for me. I didn't expect, Liverpool, when you play them at home, especially Champions League night, you can be rest assured that they are going to deliver. But just like you said, because they had the cushion to go cushion into the first leg. I think they took their legs off the pedal a little bit. But even with that, even before the match, I was like, okay, it was going to end in a draw, worst case scenario. But it doesn't matter whether they win or not. The most important is that they qualified.
Yes.
And I think Klopp, I saw him still working lyrical and said, no, that was not a big deal. They prepare for the next stage and all that. But for Bayern, what a performance. What a performance. I knew immediately they drew the first leg in Salzburg. The second leg, they are not going to take prisoners going forward. They did what they need to do, and that's how a big team should do. You come, your opponent, do them mercilessly, and that's the way. It gives confidence. Now, going to the next round, anybody that's going to play Bayern will be scared of going to Allianz Arena because they know if they don't do their homework, they'll be pummeled there. So it's a good one for Bayern. And of course, Lewandowski, what more can we say of him? I think arguably he's the best footballer right now. And I think, last year he didn't win the ultimate prize, individual prize, but I think so far this year, I think he deserves that award. He's been tremendous individually and for his team Bayern.
Now, if you take it one by one, Bayern versus Salzburg, although I was expecting a routing due to the fact that that first leg that ended 1-0 draw, I'm sure Bayern will be like, what happened? This is a team, okay, Austria, Germany, they are neighbors, they are sisters, but they want to prove a point that, okay, Bayern for a while, we've been very rampaging when it comes to playing. They won about 4-7, 7-0, 7-1 in Champions League now, 4 or 5 times. They have that particular record of always scoring so much goals. And now, you look at that game between Salzburg Salzburg and Bayern at the Allianz Arena, they were really prepared for it. They were ready for it. And I'm sure each time Arsenal watch Gnabry, they will always be like, why did we allow this guy to leave? And news came out that they could be actually gunning for him to come back to Arsenal. But really,
they have the money to get him.
they say, okay, 63 million pounds. Will Arsenal cough off 63 million pounds to get Gnabry back? But really, Lewandowski is really showing his class that, okay, worldwide FIFA, or rather Ballon d'Or organizers, for not giving me this award, you just know that I deserve this. But really, the man has really showed himself that he's a world-class striker. And in fact, any way you want to at least maximize the analysis now, oh, he's there, maybe he's lower here, he's up here, country or club side. But really, Lewandowski has really shown his class.
Definitely. He's a world-class player, anyhow you want to look at it. And at his age, you know, he's blossom in the twilight of his career. You know, he scores different kind of goals with left leg, right head. You know, he's a fox in the box. So, you know, you don't get this kind of players. At his age, he might not give you, you know, all the energy running about, but he knows where to bury the ball with the back to the post anyhow. And that's kind of player, a finisher you need for a top team. So I think Bayern are really lucky to have him, and I'm sure they'll be looking at how to get replacement for him, because gradually now he's getting to the twilight of his career. But what a wonderful player he's been, and I just hope he can still give us very more of this kind of, you know, top A grade performance in some seasons to come.
Now, I would digress with the coach. That's the manager, Julian Nagelsmann, the young man. When he first came to Bayern, it was as if, oh, will he be able to turn things around just the way other coaches have been doing? But he took over and little by little actually integrate himself into that team, and really now they are doing well.
Definitely is a good coach, one of the young coaches that we have. I'm not talking about the likes of Lampard.
Don't make Everton fans come and shoot us here.
The young coaches that just come that they've not really caught their teeth. Nagelsmann is a nice coach, but earlier when I was talking about MPFL, I talked about structure. Bayern
they have the structure on ground.
There's a structure on ground. So when you have a good structure on ground, and they have a way of playing, when you have a good structure on ground and you bring in a good coach, definitely success is definitely going to be at your beck and call. So, and that's what's happened with Bayern. They have the structure, they brought in, you know, a good coach to complement what they have, and you see what they are doing. They are doing well. They bring in the local lads, the Germans, young guys,
mix them with some
foreign guys, and they have a perfect blend. And so that's how that should be. So I think the likes of Manchester United that looks to have lost their structure, I think they need to take a second look at Bayern and see, you know, sorry to digress a little bit, Man U used to be a traditional, you know, institution team, but you see, because they've lost a structure, no director of sport and all that is affecting them now. So, but Bayern have kept all this and they're doing well. And I see them dominating the European scene for a long time to come.
Okay, now still looking at the UEFA Champions League, we've been talking about Bayern Munich for how they rampage Salzburg of Austria just yesterday. Well, Inter Milan, they nearly conquered. They came, they saw, but they nearly conquered. They won over there at Anfield, 1-0, silencing Jogging Club and his lads. Well, the deed has been done over there at San Siro as they lost the first leg 2-0 at home. That has given Liverpool the chance to at least right now qualifying for the quarterfinals, and the rest are celebrating. Just can't take it away from the team that never ever walk alone. Liverpool, they are celebrating for qualifying. Yeah, I love the fact that Jogging Club was very factual. Yes, we may not play the way we want to play, but we qualified.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, that's the ultimate thing. But it's a risky way to qualify, actually.
Very risky.
Anything could have happened. Even Inter had just nipped the second goal, there would have been chaos at Anfield. Alexis
Sanchez, that red card, despite being down 10 men, they were still able, talking about Inter Milan, they were still pushing, trying to see how they can beat Alisson. And in fact, I love the fact that they came to fight.
That's the coach, Inzaghi, is really done well for Inter Milan. They have, you know, very experienced players. You know, they might not have the legs like Liverpool or the vibrancy of Liverpool, but, you know, the experience will also come with. I saw Sanchez, he provided the assist for that goal. So Inter is still a good side, despite the fact that so Lukaku last season, they still look formidable. So I think it's a good one for Inter. I think they'll go back to the league. The Milan side are beginning to come back to where they should. Even on the league now, is a tussle
between all the
AC
Milan
and Milan.
Inter.
In the past, they used to, in the last 3, 4, 5 years, it was fight for them for Europa slots, but I think they are getting back their groove now. So I think it's a good one for Inter Milan. I hope they'll go back and consolidate on the league, and I'm sure it's going to be a fight to finish between AC, Inter, and of course, Napoli is also in the mix. So it's a good one. I like when you have leagues that are very competitive, and the Serie A is beginning to look like that again, unlike yesteryears where it was just a straight Juventus just
that's almost 9 times in a row.
Back to back. So it's good. It's becoming more competitive. That's why we love the EPL, because it's very competitive. You win it this year, you're not assured next year. A Leicester can come, in 2 years' time, just win. So it's like, I like leagues like that when you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Not the one that you can predict the winner easily.
Right from the start, this person's going to win. So it's a good one for Inter. I hope they can consolidate.
So why do they call French League Farmers League and not call German Farmers League?
I think we'll look Forest League very soon. But the French League is also very competitive.
No, I'm just talking about people that always say French League Farmers. I still see it even more competitive than German Bundesliga, because in Germany you can close your eyes and just give it to Bayern. Meanwhile, Lille they are defending champion now. Nobody believed that Lille actually won the season last season, right? Now they are defending champion. This is okay. PSG are there. Yes, it's very obvious that if you think 2 clubs, you think PSG. But in Germany, as you are blinking your eyes, you are blinking Bayern.
But for the German league, why is it like that? It's because the gulf in class between Bayern and others is so wide. You understand? The likes of Borussia Dortmund, RB Leipzig, they try. But no matter how you try, Bayern is way
ahead of it. They are far
it's like Bayern
ahead of.
Settle first, then you start
thinking about that.
Will be second and third. So, but once in a while, when they make some buys, you see the likes of Dortmund, Leipzig, trying to give them a run for their money. But definitely,
it's always the gap is always there.
It's wide.
Good one there. We've just been talking with Muhyiddin Jimoh, talking about the UEFA Champions and other stories trending. We've talked about Oshonaike Olufunke, who actually won a game against Pialin Low in Singapore at the WTT Global, talking about table tennis. We also talked about the coach, Abdallah Usman, who has since joined Katsina United in the MPFL, not forgetting all the story we have taken so far. Well, we'll be looking at the last straw on the show, talking about FIFA. FIFA finally, they've made it clear that Poland will be on bye. They'll be standing by to play against Czech Republic or Sweden, because right now, officially, Russia is out of the FIFA 2022 World Cup qualifiers that are supposed to come up March 29. But right now, Poland will just be standing by, according to FIFA.
Yeah, I think FIFA dilly-dallied a little bit initially.
It was stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Stage 1, no hoisting of flag, no playing of song or anthem.
Call them Russia, they call them, all those things. But, the pressure was just too much. And I think it was the right decision to take, because even before that, the likes of Poland, Czech, they've said, we're not playing in Russia, regardless of what happens. We don't want to play Russia. This is not a good time. So I think it's good for football. Now, Poland on by the other Czech and which other? Sweden, they'll go play. And there's an agreement. There's no force about that. They want it that way. And it's good. And if they play, whoever prepares better will take the day. And I think it's good, because the World Cup, we need the very best, and we need a good atmosphere. If I choose that word carefully, we need a good atmosphere for all the participating teams to be there. So I think it's a good one for Poland. The likes of Lewandowski, we talked about, can rest now, knowing that, okay, I'm just a step ahead to the World Cup.
Good one there. It's been a wonderful time with Muhyiddin Jimoh. A very nice, classy analysis there. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
My pleasure always. Thank you.
Good one there. Well, it has always been business and fitness on sport. 360 Sport is here, and we are right now going. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Thanks for watching.